Hi, Sam. I am so excited to talk to you right now. First of all, there's a lot to talk about, but first of all, what a great boyfriend Brian is. I'm reading this and I'm like, wow, how come my boyfriend hasn't gotten me a cameo? Podcasting is so goddamn fun. Don't be afraid. The best advice anyone ever gave me, you're gonna suck at first.
Like a felon. Gets Felon on her back. Ashley Evans Smith riding the back of Felon's thoughts. Will look to put the hooks in. She's got one hook in, and the crowd is rallying for Ashley Evans Smith.
Ashley Smith throws a big right low kick that lands. And even when see how the counters, that's a beautiful takedown. So
Ashley may be finding where she's going to
her back. She was on the ground, I was on top of her, and I was elbowing her. And you can count in the video 31 unanswered elbows. Oh my god. Yeah, that was not.
Thank you for supporting women's MMA. And all I really have to say is, let's go Potty Break Picks.
Almabeo versus O'Day Osborne. My mouth is going to be fucking spinning. Hey guys, welcome to Potty Break Picks, where we break down all the fights that everyone else is too afraid to break down. This week, we've got a pretty stacked card. We've got Corey Sandhagen in the main event. That's all that matters. For the rest of it, we've got one good MMA, or women's MMA fight. We've got Jessica Andrade versus Tatiana Suarez. We've been starved lately of women's MMA, sadly. As
2
Potty Break
weeks.
Picks. It's our special and sadly, we had to just like pop off last week just because, just to show people that men's MMA is just a joke, but
It's too easy breaking down men's MMA, honestly.
Yeah,
Like I want to challenge myself a little bit with handicapping, so we just break down women's MMA.
yeah.
But we're doing it again this week because I don't know, we just got it like that. So to go over what happened last week,
True.
our one and only women's MMA fight of the card, Miranda Maverick versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Man, we had the under 2.5. We are smiling.
It was close.
Smiling.
I was kind of frowning to start.
It was close, but the only thing I was really impressed with was Cachoeira's submission defense. And by that, I mean eye gouging, glove grabbing, and toes in the fence.
Don't forget the Brazil tap. The Brazil tap.
Brazil tap. Those were the great. She cheated like 5 times.
Dude, it was crazy.
The ref was like pulling her hand out of the glove, was like kicking her toes off the fence.
Yeah. Poor Miranda Maverick.
It was crazy cheating. But once she got her in the center of the octagon, I was yelling. I was like, armbar, armbar, because she mounted her, switched to the armbar, and that was wraps. And then she tried to last moment Brazil tap real quick.
Dude, the Brazil tap was so clean though. You don't see that much anymore, dude.
No, did you see the interview after the fight with Miranda Maverick?
No, I didn't.
She was saying she was scared to take Cachoeira down because she thought that Cachoeira was gonna reach for her eyes.
Oh shit. She saw the podcast, bro.
To make her vision even worse. She said she wanted to wait a little bit.
Damn.
Before she started taking her down,
She might be a fan of the cast, dude.
Well, she didn't want to submit her early or something.
Yeah. She might have heard our shout out to Cachoeira telling her to go for the eyes.
Yeah.
That's
so we cashed that with like 20 seconds left. Yeah, I mean, we're the best, can we say?
Well, we gotta hit the Kevin Holland submission that
Oh,
Sam
yeah.
called last week, dude.
I
How does
mean-
it feel to be famous, dude?
Dude, I don't know. I'm still getting used to it. I just saw it so clearly. Like I don't know. I don't know how I knew, but I just knew Kevin Holland by Darce choke. Unfortunately, my book doesn't have Darce choke in it. Otherwise, I would have put a cup of coffee on it. But
Yeah. Hey.
yeah, I had him by submission at plus 500, which was enough.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, I didn't have full faith in the shaman, dude, but then it got
You
closer.
should've.
I should have, and I put a single dollar on it. But, I won. Thanks
Yeah.
to the boy, dude, and this is what you get from Potty Break Picks, dude. We got
So next we had the Tony Bobby Green fight.
Mm.
That fight we both said like was a stay away,
Yeah.
but closer to the fight day, I put some money down on fight doesn't go to decision,
Mm-hmm.
which cashed with like 6 seconds left.
Yeah.
Third round.
I
So
was-
I got that win.
I was closing my eyes the whole time for that fight, dude. That was rough. That was
Yeah,
really
by
rough.
by submission, honestly, Bobby Green of all people, submitting Tony Ferguson. I had Rogerio de Lima money line, although talk about it on the show because this spot right here would have been the Stephen Thompson fight,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously got canceled. I had Marcos de Lima money line, and yeah, that failed spectacularly.
Yeah, but that was the only downs, really. I mean, what else didn't hit? I mean, for the most part, like, it was a clean
Yeah,
fight.
I think the only other loss I had was the Semmelsberger fight,
Mm.
where the Serbian dude just like came back.
Yeah.
But the wins just made up for it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Easily.
So Delima lost, obviously. Oh yeah, we had Jan. Talked about Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz won that fight, and it wasn't a robbery. Like it wasn't. It was close enough to say it wasn't a robbery, but Blachowicz clearly won, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
was listening to Chael Sonnen talk about it, and he sometimes says the most garbage shit, but he agreed, and his reasoning was something that no one else talks about, and it's how tired someone looks like at the end of rounds. Like maybe the judges take that in consideration. It doesn't look good when after round one Blachowicz is like fucking gassed out of his mind.
Yeah.
So maybe that played a factor into the judges. But yeah, that lost. I don't agree with the decision, but I'm not gonna cry about it. Justin Gaethje, easy dog. Easy
Yeah.
dog.
You had my ass, bro. That that was pretty brutal, dude. I didn't see Dustin
Yeah.
Poirier ever get anything going at all, and I had a little bit of faith. I was like, once he gets back to the corner, he's gonna start working on something. The coach is gonna see something I don't, and then no, that was catastrophic, bro.
Yep.
It wasn't a huge part of my bet, like my sheet that week, but like,
Mhm.
oh my god, dude, it is rough to watch a dude that you like get just absolutely destroyed like that.
It was a close fight. Like you could have made an argument for both guys.
Mhm.
Like, and I definitely don't blame anyone and for for betting Poirier in that fight. I don't think it's a bad bet. But I don't know. I just saw Gaethje wanted to be there more, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did. So that was our recap of last week.
Solid.
Which
We only do
very
the recaps
good.
when it's an insanely good one.
No, we do the recaps when they're bad too.
True. All right.
But yeah.
So then let's get on to this week. I guess we got at the start of the prelims, we got Ode Osborne versus Asu Almabayev. I like Almabayev in this, just like everyone else does. It looks like on the odds, and like here, wait, actually, let me pull up the. I see some things with like Eastern Bloc fucking fighters coming over. You get a lot of sort of bullshit records sometimes, and it's really hard to bet for those guys whenever they have their first fight. It feels like they're untested, but ACB, not that bad of an organization. M1, a genuinely good organization. The other two, I'm not gonna lie, I hadn't heard of until I watched these, and that's just how it is with Eastern Bloc fighters. And like them coming in, you want to see them tested, but the one thing that M1 and ACB tend to assure is, like, no matter what, they're facing very high level grappling, even if they're not facing high level striking.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think Ode Osborne, you need much other than, high level grappling. I don't think Asu Almabayev's striking's that bad, but I don't think it's that tested. So that is one factor to consider when betting on this fight. But otherwise, I don't see Ode Osborne having really any path to victory against Almabayev as it stands. So what I saw was him as a parlay piece, using him either as the money line or the under I see it going to finish because I think both of their styles kind of play into each other, ending earlier. Amabev always ends up on the back in every scramble he gets into, and Ode Osborne does not have amazing grappling defense. Maybe okay takedown defense. I think he was averaging like 60% takedown defense, which isn't great. But, against someone that's more scrambly and ending up on the back, you can defend all you want. It's the way he sticks to you that I think gives him the key to the finish. And like, there's different kinds of grapplers. There's types of grapplers who stick to you and go for the finish. Do you see anything else in this?
I will say Ode Osborne, off his back, I don't want to say he's like super dangerous, but he does throw up submissions, does throw up triangle attempts and all that. And pre-UFC, he was catching a lot of guys that position. But other than that, he's just too sloppy on the feet for me to bet on him. And I don't know. I think Asu is just going to win minutes on the ground, staying safe. Yeah, that's my read on the fight. I think Asu wins. I wouldn't touch the under or over, but I like Asu money line. It's not bad.
Yeah. All right. So that's for that fight then. Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about Sean Woodson and Jesse Butler, or moving on to the next?
Nope.
Yeah. See, same. And
I believe that fight's off actually.
Oh, really? Okay, that brand new. Okay. And then Cody Durden versus Jake Hadley.
Nope.
All right. I had something for Billy Q, our boy, Tampa native, versus Damon Jackson.
Stand up.
Here, you start, because you had a good take on it.
All right. So Billy Q is one of my favorite archetype of fighters. Just guys who put on extreme pressure and pace in fights and just break people. Anthony Hernandez, Kobe Covington, then Billy Q obviously being one of those. Those are just like my favorite kind of fighters. Yeah, I really like Billy Q in this fight. I think he can break Damon Jackson. I don't think Damon Jackson has enough power to put out Billy Q. He's not Edson Barboza.
Yeah.
Or Shane Burgos. Shane Burgos, he won a decision. He didn't put him out. But Billy Q's got a good chin. I don't think his chin is gone. He's got caught by a really hard knee by Edson. I think he just pours it on Damon Jackson late, kind of survives the first round. And I'm waiting for the props to drop on this fight. I'm not going to touch Billy Q money line, although I do think winning a decision is very possible.
Yeah.
I might bet Billy Q round 2 KO or round 3 KO. See what the odds are on that. If they're good enough, I'll take a stab on those.
Yeah, those are good ones to look out for. I think the key in this is that, like you said, they're both pressure fighters, but Damon Jackson doesn't have the power advantage, even though they've got very similar fighting styles when it comes to how they end their fights. Like, obviously, their stand-up's different, but once they're on someone's back, they are at their most dangerous, and it's not just submissions. It's also just ground and pound from the back. I mean, there's a reason that Billy Q is called, like, the squid. It's because, like, when he gets your back, he will continue to ground and pound you. And then same with Damon Jackson. They both have a very similar finishing style where it's like they get to each other's back. And two scrambly dudes who want to end up on each other's back, I don't see the grappling stalling out. They both have, objectives, and they both know where they're most dangerous. And when you have those types of styles, like, I just see either one of these guys, whoever takes the back first, I think could win with a finish pretty easily. Like, I don't see either of them having, like, the staying ability once someone's on them kind of thing. I haven't seen Billy Q really defend a lot of grappling where Damon Jackson shines. So, both of these guys, if they end up on each other's back, I could see the fight ending, and that's why I think the under's good. I see them getting into a scrambly, messy fight, and then someone ending up on somebody's back and it ending. I'm not saying Billy Quarantillo, like, isn't obviously the better fighter. I think he's way better than Damon Jackson, but either one of these guys could end up on each other's back and just end it. So.
Yep, I agree.
Cool. So.
All right.
Then.
So moving on to the main card.
Oh, wait, do you have something on Kyler Phillips?
I do have Kyler Phillips and Jeremiah Wells, but I didn't take any notes, so I'm kind of ill prepared on that. I like Jeremiah Wells money line. I'd just play it straight. He's dude, he's a fucking stud. Beat Semmelsberger 3 months ago. Court McGee before that. Carlston Harris, I think he's not very good. It's kind of a bum. Yeah, I think Jeremiah Wells any way he wants. Just glancing over these fights real quick. Moving on to Kyler Phillips. I think he's dangerous on the ground. He's gonna win minutes if he takes Honey Barcelos down. Honey Barcelos, he does carry quite a bit of power, so I'm a little scared of that. But Honey Barcelos is way past his prime.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a 26-year-old bantamweight. 25 is kind of people just fall off a cliff after 25 years, 35 years old. I mean, at bantamweight.
Yeah, and he's
I like
slower.
Kyler Phillips.
Yeah, Kyler Phillips. I could even see it as maybe even a parlay piece taking him money line just because of the fact that like his style up against Raoni's. Like I know that he has that knockout power technically, but the speed and like the in-your-face ability of Kyler Phillips when he is standing, I just see it negating Barcelos. Like I just don't see Barcelos really being able to get started with what he does because he doesn't really do like. He doesn't really have a game where he like gets started and then I don't know, converts into a knockout, I guess is what I'm trying to say. He kind of walks in, makes you walk into power shots. I just don't see Kyler Phillips walking into those. Like you said, on the ground he's better too. So Kyler Phillips money line as a parlay piece is the only thing I see out of that, but honestly I think I'm not really touching that because I think Kyler Phillips is a little untested at this point in his career. It's kind of hard to put him up against someone that actually does have power and just use him as a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyways, yeah. Sorry, I didn't really prepare for those ones.
No.
But
that's chill. Yeah, I wouldn't touch him that much.
Yeah, I got a little more to say going into the main card. Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Ludovic Klein. I really like Ludovic Klein in this spot. As what's his money line standing at? Plus 175. So, taking the underdog here in Ludovic Klein, I believe it's very close on the feet. Maybe Bahamondes slightly the better striker, I would say. Bahamondes, he throws a lot of volume, but I think he just doesn't have the power that Klein carries. He's a lot taller, longer reach, but I don't think he's that much of a better striker to warrant a minus 200 price tag. Now, Klein, he doesn't turn to the wrestling very much, but that is his obvious path to victory if he wants to make the fight look a little bit easier. Klein has an 84% finish rate with 8 wins coming by submission. And he has shown power on the feet. So I think Klein is dangerous, whether the fight's on the mat, standing. You could hit him with a head kick, but I don't know. Bahamondes is super tall. So I think Ludovic Klein by decision is good. So I'm just playing the Ludovic Klein money line at plus 175 here.
Yeah, that's good money. It's good value too. All right, cool. I didn't have anything to say about that or the next one coming up, the Tanner Boser versus Alexa Kammer. Do you have something for that?
Yeah, so Tanner Boser taking on versus Alexa Kammer. This fight is kind of sketchy, but I'm just going to trust my read. I played the Tanner Boser money line at minus 160. Tanner Boser, his last fight, he moved down from heavyweight. Fight Ion Kudalaba. He got KO'd in that fight.
Yeah. That's all I know him from.
Yeah. Thing is, Kammer, he's young, but he hasn't fought in 2 years, and his last win was 3 years and 4 months ago. So he's like, we don't know how he's gonna look. He's young, so he could come back and just be like really improved. But there's just too many question marks around him. Boser has fought and beaten the better competition than Kammer. They're pretty well matched on the feet, in my opinion. But man, it's just the question marks around Kammer right now. Apparently, he was out with like a hand injury. I don't really like
years.
that. If you're a
Crazy.
boxer, like that's not good.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
it's more of a camera fade.
Mhm.
I'm expecting him to not come back with any improvements to his game.
Mhm.
So give me Bowser money line -160.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, no, that's a good read. I think that anyone that's out for an injury is bad, but 2 years for a hand injury is pretty crazy. Like that sounds, extra long
Yeah,
for a
like
hand
you
injury.
extra long. Like maybe he's working in like a fucking mechanic shop in Serbia or something. Like he just doesn't want to fight anymore. Who knows? So,
Yeah.
or he could just come back looking like a title contender.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Just too many question marks.
Cool. Okay. So let's move up to
So
Diego Lopez versus Gavin Tucker then.
yeah, do you have anything for this one?
I'm gonna be honest. I really only have the women's fight and the Corey Sandhagen fight for the main card. I didn't really
Okay.
touch either of these.
All right, that's fine. So I have played the Gavin Tucker money line at +145
Mm.
against Diego Lopez. This fight is pretty controversial. I see a lot of people taking Diego Lopez. This guy made his debut 2.5 months ago against Movsar Evloev, undefeated Russian fighter. This is why people are taking Diego Lopez. They think because he looked so good in his last fight against Evloev, even though he lost. They're
Yeah.
like, wow, he caught Evloev in some bad situations off his back. I think he almost locked up like a triangle or like, and then later on almost locked up like a knee bar or something. He's very good off his back.
Mhm.
I'll give him that. And he's pretty big. But Gavin Tucker, man, it's just
Yeah.
like he's more experienced. He wins minutes on the mat. I think he just takes Diego Lopez down. And if he can stay safe, he'll win minutes because Diego Lopez, he's fine being there. He's fine just throwing off triangles and trying to catch people, making mistakes on the mat. Like, and Gavin Tucker, he does do that from like every now and then, but I think you just stay safe on Diego Lopez, and I think he can win minutes on the feet too.
Yeah.
Because Diego Lopez has non-existent striking defense. Like he just doesn't block punches. Tucker averages 2.98 takedowns over 15 minutes, and Lopez is just too comfortable being there. So Tucker is much more defensively responsible, in my opinion, on the feet. And for that reason, I like Tucker money line at +145.
Yeah, an interesting theme with this card seems to be a lot of pressure versus and like pace versus like power, and you keep seeing that matchup in this lineup, so it's interesting.
I
Yep.
hold on. I will say like you don't want to put too much stock in guys looking good in their losses. Like they still lost. They
Yeah.
still lost the fight. Just because they look good doesn't. What if that was like this guy's peak performance?
Mm.
He looked really good in a loss. Like maybe he was just on that night. I don't know if that's. I don't think that's how he actually. That's how good he actually is.
Mhm.
But. And I mean, another sketchy thing about Tucker is just he's had a long layoff. He's been gone for 2 years and 4 months. Last being knocked out by Dan Ige. Before that, he wrestle fucked Billy Q. But
Let's go.
yeah,
I just love the
being
mention
out
of that
for
man's name.
yeah,
dude.
being out for 2 years isn't great. But I think he just lays on Diego Lopez, man.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
All right. So then the Coco main, we got Dustin Jacoby versus Kennedy. I'm just gonna fucking not even try that second one, dude.
Kennedy and Shakui and Shakwu,
Nice.
African Savage.
Okay. What do you got? 'Cause I didn't even. I've got nothing, dude. I've got nothing for this one.
So Jacoby is a great kickboxer, and I like Jacoby. He's just had 2 back-to-back kind of flat performances. I think he beat Khalil Roundtree, but he didn't get the nod there. I just think he looked flat in his last fight against Azmat. Usually he looks very good. Usually has outstanding kickboxing. This is a guy who's been in there with Alex Pereira, their kickboxing days. But Kennedy, man, he's a different animal. Kennedy is massive. He's huge for the division. He's 6'5". Who the fuck is 6'5"? He has an 83-inch reach. Like, he's huge, bro. He's massive. And he doesn't gas. That's the thing. He has really good conditioning. Like, it's like a created fighter. Like, on UFC. Like, I swear to God, bro. This guy, he's the next big thing, in my opinion.
Cool.
He's kind of putting it all together. He started wrestling, which is just, dude, he's starting to wrestle.
Yeah, when people build like that, start to learn how to wrestle, it gets fucking scary, dude.
Kevin Holland, for example, he wants to keep it standing, obviously, but if it goes to the mat, dude, he's not a bum.
Yeah.
And I think Kennedy has the takedown threat in this fight. Although Jacoby, he doesn't have bad takedown defense in his right. But Kennedy has power, man. The conditioning. Jacoby will want to keep it standing. But even standing, Kennedy is just like, he's a puzzle on the feet. No one has figured it out.
Interesting.
So I didn't play Kennedy moneyline straight. Was at -140. I think it's -150 now.
Okay.
I parlayed it with the Bozer moneyline.
Okay. Yeah.
From 2 fights ago. So the Kennedy money line plus the Bozer money line comes out to around +170. You can get it at. I don't know if Kennedy finishes him. He could. I could see him like getting a submission or something. But man, I don't know. I like that parlay a lot. See how it plays out.
Yeah. There's a lot of good parlay pieces in this when it comes to just just betting on the guy that is gonna put the pressure in, like actually stay in their face kind of thing. And then that goes on to this fight, the women's strawweight co-main event. I am such a fan of the co-main and main event that everything else, it feels like I've been dredging through it, dude. I'm so ready for the women's MMA fight, Jessica Andrade versus Tatiana Suarez. Do you have any takes before I take it away for the next 40 minutes talking about this amazing fight, bro?
Okay, you want me to go first?
If you got something.
I'll keep it quick because you probably have like a whole essay written about it.
I don't know if you could tell I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, you are?
No, just a little.
Okay, so Jessica Andrade is taking on Tatiana Suarez in the co-main event. A great WMMA fight. If we were gonna have one WMMA fight on this card, it would be this one. So Andrade is stepping in on short notice for Jana Roba. And I don't know why, but she's been stepping on short notice a lot. She stepped in against Blanchfield.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like who her management is. Like why are they like letting her take these fights against these grapplers, these high level grapplers? Because that's obviously that's how she loses, man. She loses against these girls. Yeah, it's just a bad matchup for her in my opinion. It's just I don't think she can offer Tatiana Suarez anything unless she keeps it up and somehow her like gas tank doesn't look like complete shit. It did in the Blanchfield fight. She just kind of gave up in the Blanchfield fight, and I think it's gonna play out the same here against Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah. The gas tank is a huge factor.
Yeah. I think she's just taking on this fight for a fucking paycheck.
Yeah, you said that in the thing, and I agree. I mean, don't you get extra pay for being ex-champ? Am I wrong about that? Ex-champ pay like goes up?
I think so. She's getting good pay for taking these fights. I think she's just trying to take as many fights as she can. And I think she kind of knows that she's on like a decline right now, and she knows it. And she's just taking these fights while on her current contract to make the most money.
Yeah.
Before the UFC is like, hey, we need you to win this next fight. You know?
Yeah.
And I heard that's what happened with Derek Lewis last week. The UFC was planning to like cut this guy.
Damn.
If he didn't win.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's what I heard. But Yeah, I think that's what's going on with Derek Lewis, and I think that's what's going on here.
Mhm.
And I can't trust a girl like that to go out and win.
Yeah.
So I think Tatiana inside the distance it's at minus 160 on Bet Online, but once other books start posting it, I think we'll see a better price somewhere. Hopefully, I'm hoping. So play it straight. I wouldn't parlay it. But yeah, I would play. I'm waiting for some other books to put it up to play it.
Yeah.
I think she submits her in round 1.
Yeah. That's exactly where I was going with it. I see a submission early. And the main thing going on here, for one, I love little random facts that you find whenever you look into women's MMA because you find the craziest stuff. Jessica Andrade, ranked by MMA journalists on Tapology as the number 58 grappler in the world for grappling across all of MMA, women's or men's. I don't know where that came from. Number 58 in the world, women's in it. You know, they compared Tatiana Suarez to the Khabib of women's MMA, which I think is crazy too. The hyperbole around women that can like grapple or strike is crazy. But like Jessica Andrade has a lot of that going into it. Like I think she's always been considered a threat, but the reality is that like she's freakishly strong, but she's still smaller than everybody she fights. It's such a weird combination where it's like she's freakishly strong. Do not get me wrong there, but she constantly gets outranged. She constantly has trouble getting in on people, and her head movement, like, I like that she added it in the second Rose fight and, like, started to use it more, but as soon as someone figures out her head movement and gets a read on her at all, she abandons it. It's the same thing with her game plan with her kicks. I love her inside low kick whenever she added that to her game. It really helps set up a lot of her strikes, but she'll go inside low kick, strike, gets caught out, and she'll just abandon it for the rest of the fight. It's an incredibly frustrating person to watch fight, because she can get things going, but as soon as there's any resistance, she gives up. So on the feet, I see Tatiana Suarez baiting her into overcommitted strikes by frustrating her in the kicking game. Tatiana Suarez has significantly better kicking. She uses her range on her kicks. And then I see going to the ground as soon as Jessica Andrade gets frustrated and walks in on her, and then Tatiana Suarez finishing with a submission. I could see that happening round 1. I could see that happening round 2. So both of those are good, like, things to sprinkle on. Would I, like, I don't think there's any value in money line Tatiana Suarez yet. We'll have to, like, see the lines better. But for right now, just sprinkle on the submission, I think, is just really safe. She could even TKO her too if you're feeling just finish in general.
I wonder what Tatiana Suarez money line and Corey Sandhagen money line comes out to.
Okay, then that's not that bad. Yeah, I could see that.
What do you think about that? Let me
I like any parlay piece that attaches itself to Corey Sandhagen money line, because I don't see that fight going any other way.
So the line, some money has come in on Jessica Andrade, and Tatiana Suarez is around minus 320 right now. She was like minus 425. Corey Sandhagen minus 325. They're around the same. Yeah, so Corey, that parlay is around minus 130. So like near even money. What do you think?
If you want to get a little like risky with it, I guess I personally like the Ode Osborne versus oh my god, I forgot his name already. Almabayev. I like that as a third leg. You could either go money line Almabayev or under 2.5. But that's just me. I see it more clearly with that. Like, so if you add that along, you might be getting better money from it. But just if you're just a safe bettor and you just want even money, Tatiana Suarez, Corey Sandhagen is good. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know, because like it is women's MMA, and it's not like if I parlayed Tatiana Suarez with Corey Sandhagen. It's not my style, but I don't think it's bad. Like, I think it hits, but Tatiana, she's cutting an extra 10 pounds to make straw weight, because this fight's at straw weight.
Yeah, that's a good
She usually fights at flyweight. Like, what if Tatiana Suarez just fucking gasses?
True. We'll
I think it's going to be the other way around, but You never know, dude.
Yeah.
So
Get in on the line before she misses weight and the line fucking moves all crazy.
yeah.
All right. Well then, are we good to move on to the main event?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I I am the biggest Corey Sandhagen fan, like by far, so I had to draw myself in and like look at this objectively. The problem being, like weeks ago they had a fucking UFC Make Your Dream Card thing, and I had the main event as Corey Sandhagen versus Rob Font. You can thank me for this fight. The UFC saw my submission, dude, for the sweepstakes. They put it up, dude.
Yeah.
The reason I like this fight so much as a Corey fan is that stylistically, this is Corey Sandhagen's best fight to just show off everything that he has in his game plan. I think Rob plays perfectly into everything that's a part of Corey Sandhagen's game. I mean, the switch hitting, I haven't seen Rob have that much of trouble with in some of his fights. I'll give him that. He does catch switch hitters out sometimes, but, you know, people like a Sun Tzu, I think earlier on in their careers, are a big tell in this fight. A Sun Tzu is a tricky old vet who's got the ability to make every fight fucking boring as shit and make people who are like prospects look bad. And Corey Sandhagen has a W over him because he's also a crafty vet. He's just young. It's weird. He's like a crafty old man stuck in a sport, but he's young as shit and he's still got the speed advantage.
Yeah.
And I think that's the perfect formula to beat a more orthodox boxer like Rob Font. If Rob Font had a kicking game, I think that's one of Corey Sandhagen's weaknesses. I think the low kicks tend to give him trouble. But Rob Font really, I don't see anything impressive about the kicks that he does throw. Usually it's just to get points back against people like Marlon Vera. But Marlon Vera, again, another good tell on these people's records. He struggles with people coming in on him while he's got his high guard up. He also struggles with knees up the center. That's why I'm saying Corey Sandhagen finishes this fight. You can be safe and use the money line as a parlay piece for sure. But I would even go as far to say that you could use the finish as a parlay piece. I see Corey Sandhagen finishing this very clearly. Rob Font obviously hasn't been knocked out, but if you go to watch some of his fights, he's been in very, very hot water in many situations. And in hot water in situations that Corey Sandhagen brings to every single one of his fights, like knees up the middle against Marlon Vera. Jose Aldo, more of a technical kickboxing match, but, you know, when Jose Aldo started to pour it on, that's when Rob Font started to fade. You know, do you have anything else to say about this? Because to me, I'll just keep going on about how much I love Corey Sandhagen.
So let me get this out of the way and just say Corey wins this fight. I completely agree with everything you're saying, but I don't agree with the line. I think Corey does win, but man, like Corey was preparing for Umar, who he's good on the feet, but he has that takedown defense. And who knows, maybe Corey was just wrestling for the past 3 or 4 months, however long his camp was. You know, what if he's just like a little bit rusty? I think Rob Font coming in hot after a KO over Adrian Yanez, he could win a round or two. I think he could seal a few rounds. I just don't think where his line is at, you should bet it, you know? So I have like an interesting play that I'm kind of looking at, and that would be the Rob Font point spread plus 5.5 at plus 125 on Bet Online. I'm just eyeing it. I haven't played it quite yet. I like your confidence in Corey. I think he does get it done. And the only thing I would be worried about is a Corey finish. But man, Rob Font's, he's tough as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
He's defensively responsible. Although, like you were saying, shots up the middle is his weakness. Just splits right through his guard, and he gets cut up from it. I don't like how much damage he wears on his face. I mean, when Corey fought Song Yadong, he cut him. That was a doctor's stoppage. He didn't put a lot of damage on Marlon Vera, but Marlon Vera, he doesn't wear
yeah,
damage.
it's so weird, bro. He'll absorb like 1,000 punches, and he'll look like he took 2.
Yeah, it's weird. I think Rob Font could win a round just because he's very technical. Like people, they just sleep on this guy, man.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
true.
sleep. They sleep on him, but I think he has very crisp boxing. I think he could probably steal a round from Corey. And if this goes to decision, the judges have been really fucky, man.
Hmm.
The judges have been fucky. Like, I think they'll give a round to Font, even if he didn't win the round, they could.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's not far
that's
off.
just yeah. I think the over under is a little weird to play. What if Corey is just like, well, fuck it, dude. This shit's on short notice. Like, I just want to cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Why take any risks and chase a finish when Rob Font just planted his feet against Yanez and is throwing hard as fuck?
I can't not bet on another fellow homeschooler though, dude.
Yeah, I know. You both are homeschooled.
He's my boy, dude. I can't not
Yeah.
bet. But for real though, like I do agree, especially with the weird judges. Like I don't see it as impossible for Rob Font to score a round. I don't think that would be the struggle. I think if Rob Font scored a round, you'd now be sweating for the next 2 rounds or so on whether or not Corey finishes him. And Rob Font doesn't get finished that easily. Like he is tough.
I know.
But
I know.
it's just the way the games play into each other. I don't see anything for Rob. I would like to see Rob kick more. I think that if he could actually bring that out, I could see him, edging closer towards a win against Corey.
Well, he'll throw like little pitter patter leg kicks and then like go high every once in a while, but it's not part of his game.
Yeah, and they're usually to score back on people, and Corey really frustrates people and gets them to try and score back. It's like it's my turn, and then he waits for you to respond, and then it's still my turn. Like he's that type of fighter, and so he excels against people who like to score back, and Rob Font is that type of fighter. When Rob Font is taking punches to the guard, he thinks, okay, now I got to go back, like kind of like a Dutch kickboxing kind of style. You know what I mean? Where it's like my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn, and Corey capitalizes on that exact type of fighter. He struggles sometimes. I've seen him struggle against other switch hitters and more technical people like Jan. He also struggled with the boxing and the kicking. But people focus on the really flashy bits of Jan beating him. I think Jan was beating him like in very technical, smaller bits of that fight too. It wasn't just the flashy spins and the kicks and stuff like that. It was also
Rob Font. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. What were you gonna say?
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Rob Font. He's not flashy at all.
Mm-hmm.
He's very fundamental. It's just boxing, man. It's just boxing. New England fucking cartel shit with, Calvin Cater and all those guys. So I don't know. I think he could be on point for a round or two.
Yeah.
But I think he does get beat. So.
Yeah, I love betting on this division. I love watching this division because, you get to see these guys tested up against so many different styles of fighter, and you get to see where their holes and advantages are. There's so many fast tracks in the UFC now in their divisions to get from point A to point B. We're just going to cushion and not make you face the thing that would beat you. That's not an option in this division, and so all the people at the top, you can very fairly see what regulates their skills. And I'm not saying Corey Sandhagen's the best in the division, but I definitely am saying that his style is just so good against what Rob's already been tested against. And so that's why I'm not saying Rob's not technical and not good, but man, I see Corey Sandhagen finish easy, in my opinion.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Yep.
So,
that's that for UFC Nashville.
Yeah.
I think that was a pretty good show.
Yeah. Great card too.
We'll see you guys next week where we have 3 WMMA fights. We can finally stop breaking down these easy men's MMA fights. Like I'm just so tired of making
Money
buku bucks on on men's MMA. Need a challenge,
I mean, you saw it I'll put it in the intro, but we've got big fans now. We got a lot of people asking now. Why?
Yeah.
What's it all about? They think it's about the money. We've got what's her name? I don't even remember her name. Calling and telling us that she's a huge fan.
Ashley Evans Smith.
Yeah.
She just asked us like, "Hey, I saw your guys' show and I really like your show. Thank you for supporting WMMA." And yep, we're big fans of Ashley Evans Smith. Yep. See you guys next week.
See you guys next week.